Hi there, this is Big Boss Calvin 83. This video is going to be about Tomi Lahren. I think that's how you say her name. She's a racist bitch that is calling Black Lives Matter as the new KKK, which is funny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the clip, and then I'm going to come back with my commentary. This is the cut right here.
About this in more detail with a panel we've assembled to discuss these topics. Jamia Wilson back with me, Executive Director of Women Action in the Media. Also back with me, David Zurwick, media critic for the Baltimore Sun. And joining us now from Dallas, Tomi Lahren, a host of Tomi on the Blaze. Thank you all for being here this morning. And let me start with you. Tomi, Tomi, am I mispronouncing your name? Let me check.
It's Tomi, like the boy's name.
Tomi, I apologize. Tomi. The most hopeful thing I read this week was this from NPR's Sam Sanders. He said that in Dallas, it's actually much better on the ground than on the internet. On social media, he said there's so much vitriol, but not in person. So I wondered, you're there. Is that true? Is that what you're sensing among your neighbors?
Dallas has really come together in the aftermath of this horrific ambush, and I can see it everywhere. Last night I was driving in downtown Dallas and around Uptown, and everything's lit in blue. We've got blue lines running through everything. Our radio stations are all talking about backing the blue and how blue lives do in fact matter. So Dallas is strong and coming together, make no mistake.
At the same time, you're a conservative host on The Blaze. We've heard conservative radio host Rush Limbaugh call Black Lives Matter a terrorist group. Sarah Palin says the media has been complicit. I've got tweets from viewers saying CNN has blood on its hands for covering police violence, police brutality. Do you subscribe to that kind of belief that the BLM is a terrorist group?
I think that the Black Lives Matter movement started out with fantastic intentions. They were trying to correct an injustice, real or perceived, and they were seeking equality and to bring attention to the things that they felt in their communities. However, we saw in the aftermath of Ferguson that things took an ugly turn. We saw looting, we saw rioting, we saw burning down of communities. Now we're seeing, and though it is not all, I'm very careful to say that, though it is not all of the protesters, we do see some that are holding signs saying F the police, kill all pigs. Social media, though they might not be the first and foremost people of the movement, they are posting with the hashtag Black Lives Matter horrific and awful things and calls to violence over the police.
Let me stop it right there. You know how many times, y'all, it is funny when you got racist Caucasian people, especially racist Caucasian women talking about, they're a terrorist group, fuck the police. When it's funny, you know what's really funny? I heard, and I seen with my own eyes, Caucasian people curse out the cops, telling them to their face, getting in their face, standing in their face, spitting in their face, putting their hands on them, drawing guns at the cops, saying fuck the police. But she don't acknowledge that. As far as talking about tearing down black people, tearing down their own communities. No. First of all, in the so-called black community, we don't own anything. So-called black people, black Americans, and so-called black people in America, KKK, free Ks, don't own a fucking thing in their neighborhood. So, I mean, what kills me is that, so whether they want to riot and tear down stuff that is non-black owned anyway. I don't agree with rioting and tearing stuff up, but y'all motherfuckers, y'all pale-skinned looking motherfuckers, Caucasian people, always tearing down shit. When your sports team, your favorite sports team wins or loses the championship, y'all always tearing down shit. And I don't know why does it bother you if we say fuck the police? Y'all always say fuck niggers. And y'all say fuck the police when y'all don't get your way. When you feel a cop is treating you unfairly, you curse out the cop. Why don't you comply? And y'all always say you curse out the cop, but you talk about I have rights. You don't do this to me. You don't do that to me. You don't disrespect me. Y'all know you Caucasian people know that shit. All you gotta do is Google Caucasian people just cursing out cops, drawing the weapons on them, and the cop is professional. doesn't fuck with them, leaves them alone, is calm, reads them their rights. Sometimes they get arrested, and sometimes they just go scot-free, even if they got an illegal gun in their fucking hand. So Tammy, fuck you and miss me with that. And as far as Blue Lives Matter, fuck Blue Lives Matter, because we all know all lives matter. But when it comes to so-called Black Lives Matter, it don't fucking matter to y'all, Caucasian people. The majority of y'all. Y'all treat us like slaves because y'all still see us as slaves, and y'all's been told that you are superior and better than us. You're better than people of color. All people of color, people who are non-Caucasian, and people who don't have pale skin, people who have a pigmentation in their skin are inferior. And just because you got lighter skin and blonde hair, blue eyes, green eyes, sometimes brown eyes, you are better than the whole fucking world, and you think the world revolves around you. So Tommy, get the fuck out of here.
So I do believe that this movement needs to get itself back in check because it has taken an ugly turn.
David, is there danger in reading too much into...
She sounds like the slave master's daughter. Don't she look like it? Get back in check. You motherfuckers need to get back in check. Why don't you tell the skinheads and the KKK to Ku Klux Klan and these other the enrolled church we are and these other Caucasian supremacist groups, why don't you tell them to get in check and stop terrorizing, bombing shit, blowing up shit, shooting down innocent people, lighting fucking crosses in people's yards and other people's neighborhoods, spewing out hate. Why don't you tell your people that, Tommy?
The worst of humanity, whether it's far right or far left comments online, rather than focusing on the core, the good of most people?
Well, I think that everyone is inherently good, but I think right now our anger on both sides are killing us. It's killing us.
David, let me get Zerwick's take as well.
Well, I think, Brian, you can't exclude what's happening on social media anymore because it's absolutely there. We are not, this is sounds like, but we are not gatekeepers almost in any way, shape, or form anymore to this discussion. The difference is when you had gatekeepers, and for all the sins with our system, before you got to publish, you were socialized to a set of values that said, it was like driver ed, be careful, you can kill, you can destroy careers with these words, you can inflame things with these words, and they didn't let you publish until they thought you were a responsible driver. Social media, you have people putting some of the worst stuff out there. They publish it in the midst of these heightened warfare almost, and then they take it down because, oh, duh, I was wrong. That's so reckless. And, Brian, it's people in the media working on legitimate media platforms who are doing this. I don't know how you deal with that. It's really incumbent on the people who own the platforms to sort of police what their people are saying. But it's not enough to have people on, they publish something, and it's awful, and it denigrates a whole group, and then you take it down and you say, oh, never mind. That's part of what's going on. Yeah.
We saw the Dallas PD yesterday saying that the media was reporting misinformation, saying that shots have been fired outside the headquarters during a security scare when there have been no shots fired. Actually, the police have been doing their jobs, trying to use a device to enter a locked fence. You can see the complaints from the police department there. Jamia, let me bring you in here and pivot back to this issue of who's speaking on cable news and about what. There were a lot of complaints on Twitter yesterday about Joe Walsh, this congressman, being on CNN Tonight on Friday night with Don Lemon. Walsh made a tweet, a number of tweets during the Dallas ambush. Some of them were perceived as threats against the president. He deleted one of them. So he was interviewed by Don Lemon about this. He was challenged by Don Lemon. But I've heard a lot of people online on social media saying he should not be allowed on CNN airwaves. What do you think? What do you make of that?
It was disappointing to see.
Sorry, Jamia, go ahead.
It was disappointing to see that he was given a platform to promote a dog whistle to racists, as well as to use coded language and overt threats that were undermining legitimate movement work to help bring people together, as well as to end state violence against black people.
You don't think he should be on the air to be
disappointed to see
challenged?
that.
Zerwick, go ahead. What do you think?
Well, Brian, I think, I've thought about this, and I agree with Jamia. I totally agree with her feeling about this. But on the other hand, as a journalist, I feel that those voices have to be explored. They have to be not necessarily heard in their own voice, but put in some kind of context. My compromise would be you talk about what Wall said, but you don't bring him on. You talk about it with people. You have folks like Jamia, you have a panel like this, and let us talk about it. And by doing that, you're somehow saying to the audience, this man is irresponsible in this kind of rhetoric. You need to know it's out there, but we're going to try to contextualize it and talk about it and offer a framework for thinking about it. That might sound paternalistic. That might sound old media thinking. Maybe it is.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think we need to know what everybody's thinking, though. I actually worry that we're not hearing that maybe half or more than half of the country that is very clearly pro-gun rights, for example. Tomi, I see you agree, and I think, or maybe disagree with David. What was your sense?
I entirely disagree. If you disagree with what someone's posting on social media, or you disagree with their voice, you bring them on and you allow them to address it. You don't talk about them. You allow them to defend themselves. You allow them to clarify, and you have that open and honest conversation, as I've asked to do on many of the platforms that have said that I went too far. Bring that person on. You let them speak for themselves.
You did, Tomi. You did.
That is your opinion.
No, it's not. I wish it was your employer's opinion. That's really reckless. That kind of tweet at the situation we're in. As a journalist, what you did appalls me. That's the end of it. I'm trying to be civil about this.
And I appreciate it. I'm not a journalist. I'm a commentator. I'm allowed to have my feelings and my opinions, and I stand behind the things that I say, because the thing that hurts people the most is when you're honest. When you look at something from an honest lens, from your...
First of all, it's funny how many Caucasian people, not all, but the vast majority, feel they're entitled to free speech, but if you don't agree with them, if you speak unpopular speech like I do, coming from a person of color, like a man of color, like a so-called black man with an opinion, you spew out truth and facts. Oh, it's anti-American. Oh, or you're anti-woman. Any shaming language these motherfuckers use. It's wrong, it's ignorant, it's rude, it's insensitive. But motherfuckers like this cunt want to have their fucking cake and eat it too. They're allowed to have their own freedom of speech. But if you don't go along with their bullshit, it's wrong. Fuck out of here, you fucking bitch.
Perspective, and you bring that forth, you are immediately labeled for it and you're immediately criticized. What those on the other side want to do is criticize, label, and silence those that disagree with them. I don't play that game.
There's no room for the kind of ignorance that your tweet put out there at this time in our history.
I agree with you that there is divisive language out there that needs to be tamed, and I agree that some things that I may have said come from a place of anger and come from a place of being truly heartbroken at what happened in my city of Dallas. But make no mistake, the First Amendment applies to everyone, and the best way to combat speech you don't like is not to silence others. It's more speech. It's more conversation.
Not to give them a platform.
To silence people does no good.
Tomi, David, thank you all very much for being here. I think it's important that we actually not cut off these conversations. We have other guests as well that I want to hear from. Frankly, the more voices, the better on a week like...
This is her tweet. And she's a coward, too. Meet the new KKK. They call themselves Black Lives Matter. But make no mistake, their goals are far from equality. Dallas, Blue Lives Matter. So Tomi, what is the KKK? First of all, there's no such thing as the black KKK. There's no such thing as a black racist. Tell me what a Black Lives Matter has done compared to the Ku Klux Klan, this bitch, and you other pale-skinned monkey motherfuckers, racist pieces of shits out there. Tell me when Black Lives Matter ever threw ever tore apart families, tore apart Caucasian families, or anybody else's families, colonialized the globe, rape and fucking pillage. Tell me whenever the Black Panthers, Black Lives Matter, or any so-called black organization has ever terrorized y'all motherfuckers, you Caucasian people, raped the Caucasian woman, raped Caucasian women and children, killed them, raped the men and sodomized the fuck out of men in front of company, burned people fucking alive. Really, I mean, when has Black Lives Matter ever done that compared to the Ku Klux Klan? Set churches on fire, set homes on fire, break into fucking homes, and rape Caucasian families, and killed them, fed their babies, fed Caucasian babies to alligators, tied a Caucasian person from limb to limb. Bombed, destroyed towns like your Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, Florida, because of a lying Caucasian bitch saying that she was raped, saying that she was robbed and attacked, destroying so-called affluent, progressive black towns like your Springfield, Illinois, Rosewood, Florida, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. Because Caucasian people were jealous. The majority of them were jealous that black people were independent and didn't need them. Why do you think they brought in integration? It was not to better so-called black people's lives. No, it was about money. You know, how about you do your research on Black Lives Matter, you stupid ass cunt? I hope this bitch gets raped. I hope this bitch gets acid thrown in her face. Yeah, I'm saying it. I hope she has cancer, develops ovarian cancer, breast fucking cancer, has fertility problems like most of these Caucasian females have in America. KKK. Oh, Calvin, how can you say something like that? How so evil and mean? Well, look, this bitch. Let me tell you something about most Caucasian females. You had bitches in a school in Arizona a couple months back, getting together with their letter shirts, having each letter, and they got together and spelled out the word nigger, and they were laughing about it. I hope you crash your fucking car driving. I mean, I hope something happens to you. I hope you get your wake up call and learn to drink a hot glass and shut the fuck up and think before you talk. How in the hell are we a terrorist organization? I mean, how in the hell is Black Lives Matter a terrorist organization compared to the KKK? What the fuck is up with you motherfuckers from racist Caucasian motherfuckers to you Negro-peeing ass handkerchief headed coons making these false equivalents that don't exist? You know, it's gotten so fucking bad that I'll show you another article. Hold on. Before I continue with my dropping knowledge and rants, let me play this clip.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Ann Holt. Thank you for joining us. We began tonight with a story that is new at 6. A vendor at the Lahren Farmers Market refuses to sell produce to a woman because she is wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt. Well, tonight, News 2's Larry Flowers is looking into what the city is doing about it.
You've seen the protests and the T-shirts. And when a woman wearing one of those Black Lives Matter T-shirts tried to buy produce at the Lahren Farmers Market Tuesday, a worker with Turner Produce and Nursery refused to serve her.
With everything that's going on in the world today, with all the races, the discrimination, the killings, and all of this, I was just appalled.
Lahren resident Gwen Anthony, who's also an activist with the National Action Network, a civil rights organization, couldn't believe what she was hearing.
I said, I can't believe, here we go again. We're going back.
Anthony says it was like turning back the hands of time.
Are we still going through the same thing we went through back in the 60s? We're not going back. We're going forward. And the thing about it, people need to get with the times.
Laverne city officials confirmed the incident happened. A city spokesperson told News 2, quote, "The city of Laverne was made aware after the incident. The city does not tolerate discrimination of any kind and all people are welcomed. The vendor was asked to leave and told they would no longer be welcomed." News 2 reached out to the Smithfield-based Turner Produce. John Turner told us by phone, and I'm quoting here, "A woman approached and asked the price of my produce, and then I told her the price, then refused service because I seen she was wearing a shirt supporting an organization that has been protesting in a way that I thought was hazardous to our society," end quote. Turner later apologized to the woman and the city.
But Anthony says that's not good enough. She's considering asking for a boycott.
It's best for us to just stay away. That way we won't have no problems.
In Laverne, Larry Flowers, News 2.
Now, we tried to reach out to the woman who was refused service, but we weren't able to get in touch with her. Meanwhile, the city of Laverne told us that this was the vendor's first time at the market and he won't be allowed back.
So, there you have it, more discrimination. Tell me when a black-owned farmer's market ever refused service to a Caucasian person. Especially, y'all wear whatever the fuck y'all want to wear. Even Confederate flag. Even a Confederate flag, yeah. I mean, I'm in the South, I see it sometimes. Tell me where these have Tom ever picked up a book, did research on the internet about Black Lives Matter? Let me tell you what I looked up about Black Lives Matter. First of all, it was founded by a black woman and a few other black women, and their whole purpose is to fight injustice and inequality and the unjust murders of people of color, and stop crooked cops from doing harm to black people, and make sure they get justice for it. The KKK, Ku Klux Klan, and the other Caucasian supremacist hate groups and skinheads, they want to harm and kill people who are non-white. People who do not have pale skin, blonde, green eyes, and blue eyes, and brown eyes, and brunettes, redheads, they are protected. If you don't have blonde hair, brunette hair, red hair, even black hair, and it's not straight, and if it's not straight, if you don't have blonde, gray eyes, blue eyes, green eyes, and brown eyes, you are a nigger. I'm just going to be flat out honest. So, these Caucasian supremacist groups have terrorized mostly black people, but not only that, is terrorized Latinos, is terrorized Asian communities, because most of you Caucasian people just got this fear of y'all have a phobia of non-Caucasians moving in your community or taking over economically and prospering off of your community. And y'all fear genetic annihilation. That's why y'all do what y'all do. You don't see so-called black organizations bombing churches, killing kids, killing men and women, profiling, committing hate crimes against Caucasians and people who are homosexuals and transgender. and people who do not have, who don't believe in your ideologies. And yes, there's other Caucasians that are terrorists, the ones who are non-racist Caucasians, okay? Because Caucasians, believe it or not, some Caucasian people who are non-racist and were about people of color having equal rights as them and having the same opportunities and fairness and justice, they were lynched and they were hanged. They were lynched, they were killed, brutalized in the most heinous way too. So when a good Caucasian person spoke out against a racist one, they killed them too and terrorized the fuck out of them and their families. I'm just gonna say it like this. Bitch, and you motherfucker, and the rest of you racist Caucasian motherfuckers need to drink a hot glass and shut the fuck up. You motherfuckers have a history of terrorizing other people, terrorizing nations, committing genocide, colonizing certain countries, stealing their land, stealing their resources, killing people, raping women and children, sodomizing men. You know, any raping and maiming and pillaging like no other. The only reason why Black Lives Matter exists is because of racist cops and racist Caucasian hate groups and racist Caucasian people. Just because a Caucasian person doesn't affiliate with, is not a cop or not a part of a clan member, that doesn't mean they can't be racist. They just hide their racism, and their passive aggressive racists. They're the most dangerous because they speak white privilege bullets. They smile, they grin and smile in your face, and they will fuck you over in your job, deny you a loan, red line you, tell you where you cannot go, what school you can't go to, what neighborhood you can't live in, how much you got to pay for a car. You got to pay like 10 times more than they do, insurance and all that. Sometimes they get to, and these motherfuckers are in positions of power where they deny you whether you have health care or not, whether you have a job or not. So there's no such thing as the black KK, or there's no such thing as a black racist. This bitch just needs to shut the fuck up. The only reason why, and when it's all lives matter on this, this bitch is saying racist things about so-called black people. It's racist things and hateful, misandric things towards black men, and all lives matter ain't saying nothing. Blue lives matter ain't saying nothing. See, all lives matter, blue lives matter is nothing more than terrorist organizations. There's nothing more than a form of Caucasian supremacy. There's nothing more than Caucasian supremacists. Like I said, I hope this bitch suffers to death and gets a wake-up call. She's probably mad because she can't get black dick. Like I said, I hope she don't reproduce a child and teach her fucking ignorance, because most Caucasian women are more racist than Caucasian men. You know why? Because they're the first teachers of the child. They teach this racism to children at an early young age and spew out their ignorance and pass it along. The reason why we can't get over racism and slavery and Jim Crow is because you motherfuckers, to racist Caucasian people, keep teaching this hate. And then not only that, you have reaped the benefits of slavery, the benefits of Jim Crow, the benefits of terrorizing other nations and robbing their resources, stealing their lands. What the elite did, and then when I speak out, then you speak out against the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the Bilderberg groups and Bill Gates motherfuckers who are facilitating your destiny. Y'all gonna call me a racist or anybody any person of color a racist because they're against Caucasian supremacy? Y'all motherfuckers need to just shut the fuck up and just leave us and learn to leave people the fuck alone. Maybe we'll stop fighting back. You can't hit somebody and expect not to get hit back. When you hit somebody, you cannot be sure you're not going to get hit back. Standing up for yourself is not causing division. Like I said before, racism has been going on. Your so-called black and white people have always been divided because Europeans have caused the division. Caucasians, the ones that started the attack, started the war, and now now your powers that be is trying to create a race war, so we can have more chaos, more bloodshed. But you motherfuckers are the biggest terrorists to ever live. The United States government, which is mostly Caucasian, and the Caucasian oligarchs are the biggest terrorist organization that has been ever known for the last centuries. Black Lives Matter is not a terrorist organization. It's all about equality and fairness. Same with the Black Panther Party. Do you know what the Black Panther Party wanted? It's all about self-defense. It's all about protecting yourselves from you racist pieces of shit motherfuckers. All we wanted was decent housing, a fair opportunity of a job, of the opportunity to have our own business, an opportunity to have housing, and a fair education and a healthy living environment, just like you motherfuckers have. The problem is you don't want equality. You want to be on top. Well, guess what? Your white privilege train is coming to a fucking end. And that's all I gotta say. Bitch, please shut the fuck up.